Hey there, and welcome to Drip Music X Thursdays, where we interview people. And tonight we got a special guest. But first, before we get to our special guest, Fresh Real Stash, how y'all tonight?
Same as I was last night, maybe a little less.
Okay.
That's a shame. Is that a good or a bad thing?
Honestly,
good.
we
I'm
never
the
know
same as
until
always.
about halfway through.
What about you, Stash? How are you, man?
I'm awesome as always.
Awesome.
I never have a complaint.
I
Really.
know, man. You never complain
Yeah,
about
this guy
nothing.
thinks he's God. I forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Fresh is the complainer. But on to our special guest, Ben Childs. Welcome to Drip Music X. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. We know you got a whole lot going on.
Yeah, it's crazy right now, but thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So you got the guitar out already.
Well, I was told, could I play a song? And I figured rather than go rummaging around in the live room for it, like mid podcast, I'd just sit with it.
Hey, I like it. I like it. It makes it very easy to know exactly what instruments you play as well. Although
Yeah,
exactly. You maybe play multiple instruments.
Yeah,
You
I think
know,
there's,
actually, I'm
there's
the
a lot of
drummer.
instruments you play.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, I do play a lot of instruments. It's partially just a kind of financial consideration because the more things I can play, the more things I can teach, and also the more gigs I can get, especially back in the day. But my mum always used to say to me, be careful that you don't become a jack of all trades and master of none. Unfortunately, that is exactly what happened. But here we are. It's
Yeah, I feel your pain. I'm one of those people. I don't know how many different YouTube channels and all types of different things going on all the time. And I don't.
I
know
like
if
to
it's a
think
good
I get
thing.
close to mastering some. But maybe not.
It doesn't. I don't know, man. Being a jack of all trades, like you said, it doesn't feel like it a lot. Like you just always doing different things.
Yeah.
But how'd you start out in music? Did you start out real young? What
Yeah.
was the
So,
first-
I have one of those stories that quite sort of it's quite common for musicians to say this. Is I've got like family members who are musical, and I always looked up to them when I was a little kid. My uncle used to bring round all these cool folk instruments and stuff, and so I got into it really early. My parents had me doing like instrument lessons, and every Christmas and Easter and stuff like that, my uncle would bring around like bagpipes and things to the house. My granddad played the piano, and so it was just like it was a family pastime, and I really took to it, and so it's just something that I always wanted to do. And so into my sort of teenage years and early 20s and stuff, it was just the focus was how can I get away with doing it all the time, and I feel like I sort of managed to get there.
What was the first instrument you picked up as a kid?
So there was a piano in the house. And I've got pictures of me when I was a little kid sitting on my mum's knee playing piano around me. So I think it was the piano, but it's slightly earlier than I can really remember. But
Nice.
yeah, beyond that, it was the saxophone was the first thing that I took like really seriously, and then that was the instrument that I chose, that I really wanted to get good at, and I worked at that like mad. And then when I was 12, I finally managed to persuade my parents to get me a guitar, and that's really, I mean, if I had to say, there was an instrument that I enjoy playing the most, it would be that for sure.
The saxophone or the guitar?
The guitar.
Okay, gotcha.
It's because you can just pick it up wherever you are. There's a common misconception about the guitar that it's easy. It's not easy at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually pretty hard to play, and that's something that my students discover all the time. Is like they go in there and they're like, well, everyone plays guitar, it's going to be fine. And then a couple of lessons in, they're like, oh no, what have I got myself into?
My fingers don't
yeah.
move like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Like if you're transitioning from another instrument like a saxophone, you're definitely not used to how you'd play a guitar. I mean, I think you can transition easier from a saxophone to say, a clarinet or some other type of woodwind, right? But
Yeah, absolutely.
guitar
Yeah,
is a little
totally.
trickier.
However, there is still like that stretching and bending of the fingers on the sax. Like
Sort
Yeah,
of, though, but
yeah.
not the same as a guitar. I don't think. I think it's a little
Well,
different finger motion.
the one thing that I think that is when you get beyond the kind of like the physical aspect and like more into kind of like what you can, the noises you can make out of each instrument. The saxophone's a melodic instrument and the guitar is more of like a harmonic instrument. Like it's the saxophone goes in straight lines and the guitar can go both ways. It's like three-dimensional. It has chords and melody. And I think that the biggest transition for me, difficulty, was learning how to take advantage of that on the guitar. Yeah.
Very nice. And I'm assuming you play all types of guitar, not just the acoustic, but electric, everything, bass too.
Yeah. I've got a room on the other side of this computer. There's a room just full of all sorts of musical curios. I've got like a ton of different stuff. Yeah, but I you know, a lot of it's begged, borrowed, and stolen. You know, people give you stuff if they know you're a musician, they'll just, you know, they'll have something lying around the house and they'll give it to you. And I just never get rid of them. So I've just got so much stuff now. You know,
Do you have a didgeridoo?
I do have a didgeridoo.
Nice.
Yeah. I have 5 accordions. Who has 5 accordions?
So,
Okay, so maybe this is an easier question. Is there an instrument you don't have?
yeah, well, there you go.
In terms of instruments that I don't have that I wish I did have, I want to get a MIDI, like woodwind, like a MIDI saxophone, like an electronic saxophone. I really want one of those. They look really cool. I stupidly bought a MIDI accordion instead of a MIDI saxophone, and that is just impossible. It's just a nightmare of an instrument. So if anyone wants a MIDI accordion, God knows why you would want one. But if you do, I have one. You can have mine.
DM him.
It's on sale, Facebook Marketplace right now.
Yeah, totally.
Do you have bagpipes? That's always
Okay.
Some people do.
I do have bagpipes. Mainly because my uncle is a very accomplished bagpipes player.
Oh, wow.
There's a couple of different types of the bagpipes. You get the Highland pipes, which is what everyone associates with bagpipes.
Yeah.
And then you have the Julian pipes, which is the Irish ones. They're a lot smaller. And they played them in like the northern part of Ireland and sometimes in parts of Scotland too. And then you also get like Eastern European bagpipes, like you can get like Bulgarian pipes and things, and Macedonian pipes, and they're smaller as well. It's like the Highland pipes are they're like a war instrument almost. It's just to kind of tell people you're coming, almost, you know. But like the Julian pipes and the Macedonian pipes are more for playing music. They're for playing inside, you know.
Yeah, man. And the Appalachians, that's not the type of pipes we have, man. We got
yeah. So I found out not that long ago that the mountain dulcimer is the only indigenous American string instrument.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's a cool instrument actually. That's awesome. I have one of those too.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's
called the mountain dulcimer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sort of looks like a stretched out guitar. Sorry, I'll shut up.
No, you're good. I want to ask you about this.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like a banjo, correct, but a little different.
So
what you're
what
saying
they look
is
like,
a banjo not from the United States.
No, the banjo's from Africa. And it developed. It came into its final form in the United States, but it's like
its origins were in Africa.
Yeah, it's like a drum with a stick attached to it and strings are stretched across it. So if you see if you sort of Google early banjos and like African banjos, you'll see what I mean. And that's how they looked when they were first played in the US too. But very quickly they became, because people had like drums that with metal sort of hardware on them and stuff, and so they just sort of switched out the more kind of rustic drums for real actual kind of modern drums, and then lo and behold you have your modern banjo.
So if you guys want to learn about music, well, what do you teach? Do you teach how to play music, or do you teach everything? You know a lot about music too.
If someone will pay me, I will teach you anything about music you would like to know. But I do know a lot about it. I did a music degree, and I do talk a lot about sort of history and aesthetics of music with my students, but it's mainly instrumental lessons. And we do some like we do some I do some band stuff as well. Like I'll be the leader of so one of the ways that the place that I teach at 561 Music, one of the ways that works is it is you can go there and like join a band, and you can write songs with a band and record with a band, and but in an environment where there's people kind of telling you the better ways and the less good ways to do things, and if the people want to, they can be part of these groups where they're playing the instruments, but like I'm there or someone else is there kind of helping them do it, showing them stuff, teaching them songs, talking about stage presence, that kind of thing,
guiding them and coaching them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's other places that do that, but I like to think that we do it the best.
So what is a hurdy-gurdy?
A hurdy-gurdy is talking of strange instruments. It is okay. What's the best way to explain it? It's a box that has a crank on it, but what the crank does is it's attached to a wheel, and you put resin on the wheel. For some reason, when it's to do with instruments, they call it rosin, R-O-S-I-N, but it's just resin. And you put that on the wheel, and then that scrapes against the strings in the same way that a bow would, but it's like a never-ending bow because it just keeps going round and round. And you can play multiple strings at once, and it sounds like if a bagpipe was it sounds like if bagpipes were a string instrument, basically. Sounds really, really cool, actually. It has a couple of drone strings. If you don't, so a drone is just a note that just keeps going all the time, and then you kind of play over the top of that, the same way that bagpipes have that drone note,
Awesome.
Yeah, it's rad, and it also has this tiny little piece of wood attached to one of the strings that makes this little buzzing sound, and you use that as it's like an intentional buzz. You use that as like a rhythmic element in your playing, and so it kind of has rhythm, harmony, and melody like all at the same time. It's sort of like an early form of a music box in a way, but it's still an instrument though. You are playing it. You have to play it. It's not just kind of turn the wheel and it does stuff, but yeah, it's really cool. It's hard to play too. I've been trying to learn how to play it for the past few years, and it's taking a long time.
Have you used it in any songs at all?
Yeah, I did. I used it in so we recorded a version of Bella Ciao, that Italian anti-fascist song. And if you go on YouTube or wherever all the streamers, you can find it. It's by my band Killbillies. Killbillies is one of the bands I'm in, and it's sort of like a folk punk band, and it's on that. I played hurdy-gurdy on there.
Nice.
It works really well for that kind of thing, like sort of gypsy sounding, like folk kind of type stuff.
No, that's where I first seen Ben was with the Killbillies back in like 2009, 10, I believe.
Yeah, and that was right at the beginning.
It was you and Micah, and you both were up there, and you had your guitar, you had a floor drum, you had your saxophone, you had probably a harmonica. There were probably 7 or 8 other instruments, and you guys would be at O'Shea's or whatever playing.
Yeah,
and it was great.
All these years later, we still play O'Shea's about once a month. It's just one of our sort of second homes, and I have a lot of fun with it. These days, the lineup is James Galliano, who plays banjo. He plays in a lot of different groups around here. I'm actually playing with him at the festival on Saturday, the 561 Music Festival, with his, I guess, our punk band, BFD. It stands for Butch and the Fat Doobs. do with that what you will. So I'm playing with his punk band with that on Saturday. But yeah, he plays banjo in Killbillies, and he's got really good. He basically picked up banjo for the band, but he has just been working at it so hard and for years now, and he's become an exceptional player. And then
what time does they go on?
Butch and Fat Doobs is on, I believe, 6:30 or maybe 5:30. It's around there between 5 and 6. And
perfect,
then
because that's probably when I'll be getting there. So
excellent.
Cool.
Yeah, and then my band Bomb the Algorithm, which is it's kind of like a punk band with rapping and stuff. It's ska punk really, but it's sort of like with rapping. And that's at 7:30. That's at 7:30.
Okay.
Now, tell us more about this event that you got going on right now, so where people can come to and watch it this weekend and how long it's going on.
So 561 Music Festival, it's the 5th one that we've done. And the first 3, it's on May 2nd, which is this Saturday coming up. And it is at the Meyer Amphitheater. It's free. It's all day. It's in West Palm Beach. The Meyer Amphitheater is where they used to do Sunfest. So if you've ever been to some
riverfront, it's beautiful.
It's perfect. It's amazing. We've got 3 stages. There's going to be 30 bands playing. It's going to be wild. It's going to be awesome.
And it's free.
And it's free. Exactly. Yeah, we do it with the help of sponsors. You know, without them, we wouldn't be able to do it. Our main sponsor is Steinger Green and Finer, and they've been sponsoring us now for the last maybe, I think, 4 years. And you know, that means we don't have to charge people to come in, which is really amazing. It's super amazing. It means that we can do it like this. And because we would rather have more people than like make it like an exclusive thing that people can't afford to get in. You know, we just want it to be a big, good time. So
especially since you seem to be replacing Sunfest.
Really. In a sense, I think that the way that we're replacing Sunfest is that we're in the same spot on the same weekend. The way that we're not replacing Sunfest is it's a community project. It's
a local event.
It's for locals by locals. It's Florida bands for Florida people. I mean, it's Florida bands for anyone who wants to come. You know, there's no one getting turned away. But it's just to try and lift up and give a voice to and platform local talent, of which there is a lot. You know, there's tons. There's an unbelievable amount of good bands down here.
For sure.
I think this will be a great time if you're ready to transition to the song that you're going to perform tonight, so they can see get a little taste of what they'll be hearing if they get down to South Florida this weekend for this 561 Music Fest.
I've been trying to think of what to play. Shall I play you a kind of like a chill sort of a folk song, or shall I play you a kind of a rowdy tune, or what are you in the mood for?
More rowdy.
Okay. There you go.
Washed up on the shore, the world's a little different this time around. Slowly move towards a rush this time around. This time it takes care of all these things. Time takes care of us. There's nothing left to prove, no goals to make or people to impress. Just do the next right thing and leave it to fate to do the rest. And time, it takes care of all these things, the bruises and the cuts. Yeah, time, oh, it takes care of all these things. Time takes care of us. Oh yeah. No need to fall on your sword, my son. There's no shame in you being wrong, as long as you learn from what you've done. Learn from what you've done, yeah. No need to fall on your sword, my son. Another day will surely come. Anytime, yeah, you will feel better. You feel better, yeah. It's not the same as it was before. The world's a little different, and so are we. Where once we were so sure, and now we are living in humility. And time, it takes care of all these things. Time takes care of us. Now my eyes have cleared, I'm living in the world with no regrets. I won't live in fear, the sun is shining, good times are ahead. And time, it takes care of all these things, so in time I trust. Yeah, time, oh, it takes care of all these things. Time takes care of us. Oh yeah. No need to fall on your sword, my son. There's no shame in you being wrong, as long as you learn from what you've done. Learn from what you've done, yeah. No need to fall on your sword, my son. Another day will surely come. Anytime, yeah, you will feel better. You feel better, yeah. No need to fall on your sword, my son. There's no shame in you being wrong, as long as you learn from what you've done. Learn from what you've done, yeah. No need to fall on your sword, my son. Another day will surely come. Anytime, yeah, you will feel better. You feel better, yeah. Ah, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Thank you for that, man. That was amazing.
For
Thank
real. And where can people find that song? All platforms or?
Yeah, there's two different places you can find it actually, because that's a Killbillies song. It's called "Fall on Your Sword." It's on our album Back to Basics, and we also did a version of it with BFD, where we did it just like as a punk tune. With like saxes and stuff. It's crazy. So if you look up Killbillies and BFD, there's a version of Fall on Your Sword as well. And yeah, it's about recovery, you know, just sort of not giving up on yourself, basically.
Nice. Now, outside of the Killbillies and Bomb the Algorithm, are you still a part of Sonic Boom 6, or you were a part of Sonic Boom 6?
Yeah. In the sense that I'm on the new album, and we talk all the time, and yeah, I'm a part of the, not so much part of the crew, more of the massive at this stage, but you know, it is what it is. But you know, like you move to another country and it makes it rather challenging to be super involved, and that's
Right.
really the, you know, kind of a big part of why I left is you know, it was time for me to go try new things, but they're still like my best mates, and like I said, I recorded a bunch of stuff for the album, so yeah, in a way I am still a member, yeah.
So you don't.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is Nina's Yard Party kind of the side project from Sonic Boom 6 that's a little more?
So what I did with Nina's Yard Party is I just sort of, I was talking, do you know a guy called Ricky Balufe? Do you know that guy?
No.
He's in a band called More Better Band. He was in a band called The Shake. Anyway, he's a nice guy. And I was talking to him about just wanting to start some kind of ska project. And then I don't know what was going on with me that day. By the end of the day, I had like 4 or 5 tunes written. I was just really feeling the idea. And then I was like, what am I going to do with all this music? And so I just started reaching out to all these different people who I'd played music with over the years, like Dave from Big D and the Kids Table, and Cooley Ranks from Pilfers, and people like that. Chris Murray, he's just an amazing acoustic ska guy, and all these people I just knew back in the day, all the guys from Sonic Boom 6, and then some local, like, you know, great musicians, heavy hitters like Joey Caldereo and people like that. And I just kind of made this sort of internet album, you know, where I had everyone send their takes over to me, and I mixed it. And I say album, we've got a few tunes out, but it's the kind of project that never has to die, because it's like whenever I have time, I'm going to try and resurrect it and release songs with it. So it is still going, but it's not and never really has been a primary focus. It's more of just like a fun thing to do.
Did that happen during COVID?
Yeah, kind of towards the end of it. Yeah, just like everything in life, because it's not my primary focus. It's got gazillions of listens. You ever try and do anything like really hard, and it's so hard to make it work, and then you just something that's an offshoot seems to always do better for some reason. I don't know why. That's life.
Yeah. I tell new music artists all the time, just put everything out that you like. Don't hide any songs or anything. Just put it out. If you don't like the song, who cares? Put it out, because you never know, everybody else may love it. Yeah. like you just never know.
Yeah.
And I've had that happen plenty of times about songs where I was like, oh man, I know this. Everybody's gonna love this song. And then everybody's like, it's okay. And then I put out a song that I hated, and they're like, oh, we love that song. I'm like, are you serious? So I spent like 5 minutes on, like, see, I spent 5 hours on the other song y'all hate, but the one song I spent 5 minutes on, come on.
So I have a plan. Talking of that, I have a plan. Once I've finished my studio, which is getting close, I want to get it so that I can just sit down and record super easily. So because I want to, I'm not sure when it's going to start, but I want to try and do a year where I write and play live a song every day. Imagine if we did that. That'd be crazy. I mean, I can't promise the quality would always be amazing, but I bet you'd write a couple of real bangers,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I did a song a week for a year, and that was pretty
cool.
tough. So
you know what? That might not be a bad place to start.
Yeah, I would recommend starting there, because it is more of a load than you think it is. One every day would be, whew.
Yeah.
If you can do it, but that's a lot.
That's cool. You did a song a week. That's badass. Did you?
That.
Yeah. Did you release it like once a week?
But I only released it on a crypto platform, and
gotcha.
I should have released it everywhere once a week. I think it would have done a lot better.
It's a cool idea. Yeah,
I have a bunch of those.
Yeah. Stash has a bunch of those. You probably have all of them, besides the last few that I dropped.
Nice one. Yeah. There's so much things you can do in life. Something that I really struggle with is, as you can tell by my conversation about my instrument collection, is focusing on one thing and just doing that well, and I know that's advice I give other people, you know what I mean? I know it's the way to do it, but it's just hard to, I'm just a bit ADD, and I just, I just like a lot of different things. So yeah,
absolutely.
Like
so let's talk about some of these names. Is Killbillies as straightforward as it sounds? How did y'all come up with that name? And then I'm also interested in the Bomb the Algorithm, because that I think is pretty straightforward, but I want to know why.
Okay, so Killbillies, what happened with that was me and this guy, Micah Scott, who is he's a great musician. It was he and I really, and this guy Keith Ahern in Killbillies for the first few years, and we were talking about, Micah wanted to call the band King Billy, because I think he just had this kind of like, I think there was like it was something to do with like Scotland and some kind of historical situation, I'm not sure, but when he said it, both me and this other guy Keith heard Killbillies, and we both said back to him, oh, Killbillies, that's a good name, and then all of a sudden that's what we were called.
Oh, nice.
So that it's not, I wish it was deeper than that, but it really isn't. We just thought it sounded cool, and then
it is.
Yeah, totally, and then Bomb the Algorithm, we were originally called the Algorithms, but the guy from what's that reggae band called? That Cali reggae band, Stick Figure. The guy from Stick Figure's side project is called Algorithm, and there was a couple of other people, and then we were starting to get cease and desists. So we went with Bomb the Algorithm, which is funny because it's very like Bomb the Music Industry. But luckily, I know the guys from Bomb the Music Industry, and they said it was okay. All right. So we're okay on that front. And I think that band is pretty. It's quite political. It's a lot of, anytime I really need to get a good rant off my chest, I write a Bomb the Algorithm song.
You don't go on the 561 podcast and debate people live for political stuff.
The thing about that is the way I look at that podcast is it would be a shame. It would be a shame to cast it in one light or another because it's really for. I don't see that podcast as really being for us so much as the guests we bring on it. You know,
Right.
and and it's really that podcast is just all about like making local music vital and providing a forum and a community and a platform for people to come together and and just try to keep sort of anything too poisonous or kind of like polarizing away from it. Once in a while we get into it, but but I'm certainly not shy of talking about it. If you listen to any Bomb the Algorithm song, you'll understand where my head's at with all that.
Do you think there's aliens? Think aliens are real?
Yeah, that's it. That's my only viewpoint. I just think there's aliens. I don't care about anything terrestrial. I've moved past it.
Exactly.
Okay, what are they?
Oh, what, my political stance?
No, what are aliens?
Oh, what are aliens? Okay, so if you know what, I don't know if there's aliens or not, but if there were going to be aliens, I would say that they would be almost definitely too difficult for us to process, to understand what they are. Maybe we wouldn't see anything at all. I think that there's like infinite variation, and why would they be anything even remotely like us? So I just think it would be really difficult to even know you were standing next to one. I think that's my view of aliens. It's like, why, is the paradigm that we sort of imagine that they would sort of like be able to slot into our sort of way of understanding things. I'm doubtful of that. It doesn't mean there aren't aliens.
I think you're talking about Men in Black. That's how they are right now. They're hiding them beside us. They may be wearing skin suits and outfits and all that. I know Stash is an alien for sure. He's already admitted it live plenty of times.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, it's very nice to meet you. Or should I say Nanu?
Or at least or at least he's normally stoned as an alien. He's usually that high, or he'd be out of this normal planetary.
Hey, are you guys system. Star Trek fans?
I was a Next Generation fan, but that was the one series I really liked, but I didn't get into any of the others.
I would say Next Generation is where I lie as well, but that's probably like our age betraying us, because that was what was on the telly when we were young.
In college, yeah,
exactly, since I've joined the band with James, since James has joined Killbillies, I kind of liked Star Trek before. Now I know way too much about it. I might be a Trekkie at this point.
Right.
I'm not proud of it.
But speaking of being a Trekkie in movies and gaming and stuff like that, have you had any songs that you sync license out that are in any movies or games or anything?
I don't think so. I don't think Sonic Boom 6 has ever been licensed. At one point, I was really trying hard to do that. I've not had a huge amount of luck with it though. But no, I don't think so. There is a high chance that there's a Sonic Boom 6 song that has been, and I'm just forgetting it. I know that Random Hand got a bunch of them. Random Hand, which is a band that Sonic Boom 6 used to play with all the time, got on. They were on Tony Hawk, the UK version of Tony Hawk. We were so jealous, man. But there probably is a Sonic Boom 6 one that's been licensed for something. In fact, I'm 90% sure of it, but I can't remember which one it is.
That's cool. I just like to make music artists who are watching a podcast who are new and stuff aware of sync license, and there's more than just record deals and doing shows. There's a whole another outlet of revenue to be made and get your music heard with sync license and all the entertainment.
True. Have you ever done that thing where you're literally writing for that? There's those companies where you can like write music for like library music and for kind of like writing to order type thing. I haven't done it with a company, but I've intentionally made songs for gaming stuff. Yeah, because cool. I knew I was going to make gaming videos where it would fit real good in. Yeah, to those. So it's kind of just using my own stuff in
lieu of, because we have social media, you know, if you get big enough, then you have better chances of sync licensing if they're seeing it in gaming content or whatever, you know, that's already out there.
Yeah, totally, for sure. It was something me and a couple of friends did for a while. Was really actively pursued that, and we were writing music to order for people who would like, you know, be like, we need something like this, something like that. And after a while, I just couldn't do it anymore. I have to write music for me. It has to
Yeah.
be something I actually care about, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I couldn't write a song for like elevator music. If somebody wanted me to do like an elevator music song or something, I'd be like, "Ah, I can't do that."
Yeah, I don't. It has. I didn't feel like my heart was in the right place with it. Like,
Right.
it's difficult for me to give enough of a like to care enough without it being like a burning need to write it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's where it needs to come from for me. You know.
So did you, just for those artists out there who may be thinking about it, you said you worked with a company. Was you able to make some revenue off that working with that company or?
It was a hustle, and I tell you what, it wasn't good money at all. I think we did make some, but it was a real hustle, and there was like it was really hard. It was a lot of work. I think that there is money to be made there. I think it's a lot to do with connections, to be honest with you. I think
Yeah.
that just like anything else, that game's who you know.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
but the but it was very good for me. You know, it made me better at record like engineering. I did a ton of production in that time, and the quality had to be really high. So
Yeah.
I was I would say that if you're trying to learn how to be better in the studio, you should definitely do that. You know, it was great for that. No, as a living, I know people who do make their livings doing that. A couple of people, but they just they've got that hookup. You know, they know the right guy. So, which is a big part of music in general, to be honest. Make sure you're nice to everyone you meet, you know, because you never know who
Business
they are.
and life in general.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about AI in music now? There's so many different ways to use it, including the obvious way where people can just prompt something and put out a whole entire song. But we're seeing it. I believe Deezer. We just talked about it in the headlines last night. Deezer has 44% of songs being submitted as AI generated right now.
So what I'd say about that is that in terms of like AI on the whole, it's so far the evidence seems to be pointing towards it as a pretty negative thing all round. But it's amazing though. It's cool. You can do fun, cool stuff with it, and I don't. It's not like I've never used it. Like I've been messing around with it all over the place. Have I released anything with AI? I have not, but I've certainly been very curious about it, and I've been experimenting with making apps and with like making art, making music, just to see what it can do, and like language, how it deals with like songwriting and stuff. I found that one thing I have found that is quite useful for is with lyrics, you can bounce ideas off it. I've never used any lyrics that were AI, but I have solidified a concept in my head. Sometimes I'll just put the lyrics I've written in and say, "What is this about?" And then it comes back and tells me what it's about. I'm like, "Oh yeah, that is what it's about." That's pretty helpful. But yeah, I still, I don't know. I'm wary of it. The damage to the environment concerns me, and
Yeah.
and the fact that it's just going to cut a swathe through jobs,
Yeah.
So I'm
yeah.
worried about that too. But it's you can't fight the tide. Here we are. You know what I mean?
That's
So
true.
it's like it's sort of like swim or get eaten by the sharks. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I'm just going to make sure I understand it and I keep up with it and try and keep my try and understand where my moral center is within it all. I'm not
Yeah.
going to try and convince people that something I've done that I haven't actually done. So
Gotcha.
yeah, that's where I'm at with it. So there's something that I've been doing a lot recently is like 3D animation, and that is really interesting when it comes to like AI, because there's a lot of very, very mundane processes that it can kind of like expedite.
Yep.
But actually, just like anything if you want to take it one step further, or if you want to refine it, what you find is you almost have to completely deconstruct the thing and build it back up again from scratch. So I found that through using AI to help me with 3D animation, or to teach me certain things about it, I've learned how to do 3D animation, and it's almost in large part quicker for me to just do it myself. There's certain things it can do really, really super quickly, but then when you try to animate the thing that it's made, or like the way that the mesh is always a bit weird. Like there's a I don't know, I found it quite educational in the field of animation. I found it pretty educational. And again, I would never like release a thing where it was just all made by AI, but unless I said I made this with AI, but but I've never released something pretending that I made it and but actually be using AI. But still, it was an interesting journey, because I've got to this point now knowing how to 3D animate, really largely because of what I learned through using AI, honestly.
It sounds like you went as far as to create your own 3D models before you're animating, because I heard you say mesh.
Yeah.
In there. So you're probably started out learning Blender or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm in Blender, and I've taken it quite far at this point. It's such a rabbit hole. Good gracious.
Yes, it is.
Did you start with the donut?
I didn't start with the donut. I just started trying to make the video. I actually did do the donut, but I didn't start with it. I kind of retro did the donut, but yeah, because I was just jumping the way sometimes I'll just get this real fire in my belly to try and get something done, and I'll just go, okay, so how do you do that? And I'll just kind of keep going, and before I know it, I'm like up to my neck in something, and now I'm just kind of trying to fight my way out to finish the video, basically.
Right.
But I think it'll be good. It's really, it's amazing how much you can do with Blender. I'm really super happy that I went on this tangent. If anyone out there has never messed around with Blender and has got an enormous amount of patience, you should definitely do it.
Yeah, enormous amount of patience is the key word. Because it's really fun making the 3D models, but there's little buttons and little tricks in Blender that's not obvious, that you got to learn where it's at. That's like the interface was the biggest learning curve for me. Is like, this interface is nuts.
Yeah.
Are you making the whole video in Blender or using another software?
So what I'm doing is I'm making clips in Blender, and then I'm collating them in DaVinci at the end.
You should try making the models in Blender, bringing them into Unity.
Right.
Because Unity's better for the control of the video.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, well. Yeah, that's good to know. All of this I've done on my own with the help of YouTube and AI. So that's really good to know.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah,
we're
sure.
We're very much like self-taught in all this kind of shit, right?
Yeah, it's cool that you can be these days,
Yeah,
and like relatively quickly. And the funny thing about like asking like, I don't know, something like ChatGPT or Claude questions is it gets it wrong a lot.
Yeah,
but the fact that you're asking, it's kind of like you're figuring it out with another person rather than just on your own, so you don't give up as easily. You know what I mean? It's like you just keep trying to do it because it keeps giving you hope. It's like, oh no, but this is going to be the answer. AI told me it was, and it isn't. But at least you tried, And so it keeps kind of pushing you further and further with it. Yeah,
I'd say it's a slippery slope because the AI will agree with you on rabbit holes and get you down a rabbit hole and make you.
Ain't that the truth?
Some people will go into psychosis and believe stuff that is not actually a reality. Just
I tell you what,
AI.
and that's not even I agree. I think that's absolutely terrifying, and I know about that just from the stuff in the news and listening to some stuff on political podcasts and reading about it and stuff. But it sounds it sounds very dangerous in that regard, And there's barely any checks on it or anything, and it's just the regulations surrounding it are very minimal at best.
Yeah.
So
It's
we'll
hard.
see where that ends up.
Yeah, because it's hard to even like there's been talk of different legislation for AI already, but nothing really come through yet. Because like, how do you regulate something that's this far out of the box? You know, what I
Yeah.
mean? Pandora's box is wide open, and you have these coding apps that are making more AI apps,
Yeah.
and like I don't. It's going to be weird how they regulate it. I don't know. But speaking of regulations, it's that time of the show where it's the fresh fast fire questions. You should let me finish the full sentence.
Speaking of AI, so I'm gonna ask you, I don't know, about 10 questions or so. Give me the first thing that comes to your mind. 1 or 2 sentence answers are great. If you had to describe your sound as a weapon or a tool, what weapon or tool would it be and why?
Bomb the Algorithm would be a small axe, like the Bob Marley song. Killbillies would be some crazy people on a farm with a banjo, and that's the two main ones. Nina's Yard Party would be it would be a party in my backyard with my dear departed dog Nina and my best friends.
I'm interrupting the segment for the band Killbillies. A katana would have been a very good answer because Kill Bill. Just had to throw that out there because I just thought of it. All right, go.
Oh yeah.
Nice correlation.
Yeah, a lot of people ask us if that's why we called the band Kill Bill, but it's not. Like people are like, "Oh, you all like big fans of Kill Bill," and I am a fan of the movie Kill Bill, but it's just by chance.
Do you have a go-to ritual or habit before you do a show or before you record?
Well, it used to be drink a lot till I was off my face. It's not anymore. Now, I tend to sort of pace around nervously and like ask people too many questions, and or if I remember to do it, sit down and warm up my guitar because that gives me something to do with my hands while I'm nervous and waiting. Yeah, that's about it. I don't have anything like healthy and like sort of like considered, you know. But yeah, mainly warm up my guitar is something that I try to remember to do, and it makes a big difference too.
Nice. What's a lesson that you've learned about the industry that you wish you knew earlier in your career?
There's no point in trying to be someone else because you'll always be one step behind. Be yourself and enjoy the journey because the destination is the journey. It's like the journey is the destination. It's the process of being a musician is why you become a musician.
Cool. What's one genre or musical style that you'd love to experiment with in the future?
That's a good question, actually. That's a great question. Something that I've really wanted to do for a long time and that I have never got around to doing properly is a decent solo album of just folk guitar and singing, just like a finger picking album. I really want to do that. And then on a completely other extreme, I used to make a lot of drum and bass, and I really like drum and bass and jungle, and I want to make a jungle kind of like glitchy sort of jungle album. So that's the two things. Yeah, I've done them both before, but like I've never done them quite to the sort of like point where I feel like I've ticked the box, you know.
You've done them, but you haven't done them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If somebody made a movie about your life, what would the theme song be?
Well, my mother used to sing me a song, that Michael Jackson song. Ben, the two of us need look no more. Well, I don't think it would be that, but that just came to my mind. What would the theme song of my maybe just like a trombone? I don't know. I don't know. It would be like London Calling would be cool by The Clash, but I don't think I'm that cool.
How does your approach to music reflect the way you live your life outside of music?
I'm sorry, say that again because it was a good question. I just want to make sure I got it right.
How does your approach to music reflect the way you live your life outside of music?
So there's sort of like a good side and a bad side to it. Everyone who knows me knows that I'm a kind of like a poster child for the sort of ADHD brain squirrel type of person. So I play a lot of I play a lot of different instruments. I'm always excited about something and then immediately excited about something completely different. Sometimes I get into things and I just go completely burrow down on them for like 3 months and don't talk to anybody, and then just sort of pop out and I'm doing something else. And so that is how I approach music very often, and also how I approach life, unfortunately, for my wife. And then on the other side of the coin, the way that I approach being in bands is that I'm very loyal to the people that I work with, and you know, I'll do anything for them, and you know, the band sort of units me as a super important part of my life, and so and I'm quite like that in real life too, quite sort of like quite a loyal person, you know. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. What would you say is the most surreal experience that you've had as a musician?
There's been loads. You'll love this one. So I was in Belgium in about 2006, and we had been talking to someone online who he seemed cool, and he is cool actually. He is cool, but he came to the show and he'd been talking about something weird like, I'm going to spray you with milk. We didn't understand what that meant. It turned out he was a lactating man, and he could squirt milk from his nipples. And while we were playing, he came over and started squirting us in the face. And he got the drummer Neil right in the mouth.
Wow. What did he do?
Neil freaked out. Neil's a lovely man, but that's a little too that's a little much for Neil. He couldn't handle.
That's a little much for anybody.
I know, yeah.
What is even the chances of catching man milk at a live concert in your mouth?
I don't. Yeah, I'm saying that's up there. That's up there with the weirdest things that have happened to me as a musician. That for sure. And a lot of weird things have happened to me.
At least you avoided it from your mouth. It was him, not you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
One time when we were in France, we're trying to get a hold of the promoter. He wasn't answering his phone, and so we kept driving, and then we realized the roads were getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And we were in like a band van. We had quite a big van. It was like a big Sprinter, and had all this stuff. We'd had other people with us. It was a whole thing. Like, you know, it wasn't just us in a car. And we got like to the end of the road, and it's like became a track, and we were like, are we just driving through a field now? Kept going, and then we saw like in the distance there was just this house just in the middle of all these fields in the middle of the countryside in France. We finally got there, and we got out, and we were calling him. There's no answer. And we knocked on the door, and there he is. And the promoter, it turns out, was like a teenage boy, and he was just sitting there with his parents having dinner, and he looks up and he goes, oh no, or whatever that is in France. He was like, sacre bleu. And like, it turned out that he'd just completely forgotten that he had booked a gig. And not only had forgotten he had booked a gig, for some reason he'd given the address as his house, not wherever the gig was meant to be. So we showed up at someone's dinner, like expecting to play a gig. So that was pretty funny too.
Did you end up playing at the house?
No, we frog marched into the cash point and got paid. We would have played for him if he wanted to, but he didn't want to. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, totally.
That's a story.
And the final and cliche question: if you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Someone who I think of often is Joe Strummer from The Clash, because I went to school with his kids. I met him a couple of times, once in the car park of my school, and another time when he recorded our like Christmas concert when I was a little kid. I was playing the Pink Panther on the saxophone, and came up to me at the end and shook my hand and said, "Well done." And that had a big effect on me. Not long after, 10 years after or so, he died. And I always kind of felt like I was gonna meet him in later life, because I went into very similar music. I was playing, punk and ska and reggae and that kind of thing, because he was a huge influence on me. But I never did, because he died. It was very sad. So I would have loved to have collaborated with him. That's for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, just because he's a great musician, and I believe in his, his politics and his whole approach to music and everything. He was a cool guy.
Great answer. Well, that's been.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna follow it up with this question because you mentioned your bands. There's some rapping in.
Yeah.
Top 3 hip hop artists of all time.
I'm sorry. What was that cut out?
What's your top 3 hip artists of all time?
Of all time? Okay, so I would say that Biggie has to be number 1. And then in terms of stuff that I've listened to the most, I listen to a lot of Roots Maneuver, who's like a UK rapper, so I'd stick him in there because I feel like there has to be someone from the UK in it. Otherwise, like, I'm doing my country down.
Oh yeah, the UK rappers be coming after if you left them off the list, left one of them.
Yeah, totally. And then number 3, I listened to a lot of Tribe Called Quest growing up as well, so I feel like I should put them in there as well.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good list.
What about you, man? What top 3 rappers for you?
Oh man, we went through this so many times, but my top 3 probably has changed again. I would say it's hard to put somebody at number 1 because
I know.
I have Pimp C in my top 3 automatically.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. From there, I would want to put DMX, I think, up there. Because DMX still, to this day, has songs that will just tear a club down if it comes on.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
Yeah. It's just that his hype of music. And it was lyrical, too. I was super hyped. Who would else I put in my top 3 right now?
Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I gotta put Lil Wayne. Even though that last album disappointed me, but yeah, Lil Wayne.
Like I don't know. I feel a bit bad for him lately. Not that I don't know. He's been like, he was like all butthurt that he didn't get to play Coachella, which I understand. I mean, it sucks, but like he's like sad. He doesn't seem very happy lately. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, it is what it is.
I mean, he looked.
Yeah, go on.
But
He looks
some
like he's going
disappointment in
through
life.
it too, right?
Yeah. And I the thing is, at the end of the day, I don't know him, do I? So what is my opinion on Lil Wayne, man? He could be fine. I don't know.
Probably not, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. The industry's been shook lately with all the files of stuff coming out here and there.
Yeah.
And Diddy's been a whole thing, and
that was something else. I mean, I feel like the last couple of years is, it's been that and Epstein. Been crazy. What's been going on?
Man milk in the mouth ain't as crazy as it sounds when you start talking about these files and what Diddy was doing, or at least what Cassidy said Diddy was doing.
Man milk in the mouth. That's what we're gonna call that story. Man milk in the mouth.
That's a new band. That's a new band name right there.
That's a song. That's a band.
I'd say he was a really cool guy though. He was super chill, but like apart from doing that sometimes, which is quite a big thing, admittedly. But
Yeah.
A pigeon landed on my head once as well when I was playing. That's a good one.
Oh
was
man,
I was playing at the Square Grouper in Fort Pierce, and the pigeon landed on my head and sat there for quite a long time. It was funny.
did it shit on your head?
It
'Cause
did
normally-
not, but it did
Wow,
go
that's
onto my
lucky.
mic stand and then shit. I was
Oh.
very close to being shit on, but it didn't.
That's actually impressive. Usually they don't wait.
Yeah, totally. I feel like it's very important thing is in a couple of days to reiterate that the
Yeah.
561 Music Festival is on Saturday, and it's on West Palm Beach. It's a Meyer Amphitheater, and there's 30 bands. 30 bands is a lot of bands for one day, and you can see most of them at the festival. Occasionally there are times when bands are playing at the same time, but there's 3 stages, and every band plays for half an hour. So the way we did it last year is you could watch one band, then turn around and watch the next one. You know, it's like there would just be one band playing at all times. This year we did 3 stages, which means that's not really possible. But next year we're going to try 4. So there'll be like 2 of the stages playing, and then 2 of the other stages playing, like that, back and forth. So I think that kind of brings a little bit of symmetry back to it. So this is kind of the transitional period between 2 and 4. It's going to be good though. The third stage has got some great bands on it.
How many bands do you expect then for next year with 4 stages?
40, I suppose.
40?
Yeah. 10 bands per
guess so.
stage. That's how many makes sense, because it's like half an hour for most of the bands, and a little bit longer for the last couple.
Right.
It's like 45 kind of thing for the last couple of bands. And to be honest with you, that's a fun, exciting. I'm a punk at heart, and that's a nice way to experience. Nice way to listen to music. You know, half an hour of music. They just play the best stuff, and go. You don't like because like watching a band for longer than that, if you really love the band, is better. But if you're just getting introduced to a band, half an hour is plenty. You know what I mean? You just like play your best songs and get out of there.
And I want to remind everybody, this is a free event with 30 bands. Free.
All
Can't
day
say
long.
fairer than free.
And Ben's gonna be playing 2 spots,
Yeah.
Free to get in.
at
Yeah,
least 2
you-
spots.
Yeah, you can.
5K to leave though. No,
Yeah.
I'm joking.
you can get, there's a VIP, and that is $50 on the door, but you don't need to, unless if you want to be a VIP. That's very helpful because it costs a lot of money to put the festival on. We're still in the hole. We won't know if we're not in the hole until afterwards. So if you want to do us a favor, go and buy a ticket at the VIP, and we'll love you forever. There's good stuff there. There's like a goodie bag, and I'm going to be interviewing the bands backstage, and then there's like all the stuff you get at the VIP. There's a bar back there and things like that, and some shade because it's the whole thing's outside in the sun. But if you just want to come into the festival and watch the bands, it's free, not a cent.
There you go.
Nice.
And they can find your music everywhere on all platforms.
Yeah, if you're a
all
ska and punk fan, Bomb the Algorithm is the one for you. It's we've been around for a couple of years, and I'm really feeling Bomb the Algorithm at the moment. It's a I don't know. It's one of my favorite ways to write music because I just bring in all of my favorite elements and mash it together. With Sonic Boom 6, we called our first album The Rough Guide to Genre Terrorism, and that's a good way to kind of like explain what this is as well, because this is heavily influenced. I don't know if you can be influenced by yourself. It's something the same. It's in a similar vein as Sonic Boom 6. Anyway, and then Killbillies, if you like folk punk and Irish music and that kind of thing, and banjo and sort of bluegrass, that's going to be for you. And you can put the socials for Killbillies is Killbillies FL, and then BFD. That's BFD on the socials. But if it doesn't come up and it's hard to find, it's Butch. So the name Butch, BUTCH, and the Fat Doobs, DOOBS. Is the most insane name of a band I've ever been a part of, but I'm here for it. Why not?
Be sure to go follow them everywhere. Check out all the music and get down to South Florida this week for the 561 Music Festival. Free.
Come say hi to me.
Yeah, you might get a chance to also see the real Stash there as well as Ben Childs and a whole bunch of other bands.
If you see me, come buy me a beer.
There you
So we were talking about Nina's Yard Party earlier, and the song that I was gonna play if I didn't play you the last one was gonna be a Nina's Yard Party song. I was gonna play Boom Beat Your Heart, which is like a ska type of a thing.
You want to play that on the way out?
Yeah. If you would like me to, I kind of am in the mood to play it. So yeah.
Hey,
Sure.
awesome. We appreciate it, man.
Nice one.
It was a pleasure having you. This is Ben Childs taking us out for
Nice
this
one.
episode of Drip Music X Thursday Artist Interviews. Take it over, Ben.
I had a lot of fun, guys. Thanks so much. There we go. Just got to settle a groove in. When I first met you, my love, I knew I had to share. 'Cause you had too much love for any one of us there. As the time goes by, your love, it extends to all. And all I can do is smile as I see you embrace us all. Boom with your heart, no stone left unturned. The way you let love in. Boom with your heart, and nobody is spared for all the love you bring. It's a lesson in empathy, such a wondrous thing. What a joy to be in your world with all the love you bring. Whether the days are easy, are you feeling blue? Lift us up with your big, big heart and carry us with you. Boom with your heart, no stone left unturned. The way you let love in. Boom with your heart, and nobody is spared for all the love you bring. Boom with your heart, no stone left unturned. The way you let love in. Boom with your heart, and nobody is spared from all the love you bring. Well, it's easy enough to say, but can you follow through? It's easy enough to say, but so much harder to do. Whether the days are easy, are you feeling blue? Lift us up with your big, big heart and carry us with you. Watch out, boom with your heart, no stone left unturned. The way you let love in. Boom with your heart, and nobody is spared from all the love you bring. Boom with your heart, no stone left unturned. The way you let love in. Boom with your heart, and nobody is spared from all the love you bring.